Hello, how are you? Good afternoon from Calgary. It's a pleasure to be with you today. And once again, this is the Unleashed Virtual Summit. And we put this together because of you, because we believe so much that it's time for you to go after your passion, to go after your purpose, to go after that dream that you have in your heart and that you've been putting aside for so long. My name is Wumi Akinlosotu, and I'm the founder and CEO of Blooming Ladies. To bloom is to flourish. To bloom is to be in your best self. To bloom is to thrive. And that's what I want for you. And with me today to talk about how you can be unleashed is Kate Boyd. Kate is a launch strategist. She's the CEO and founder of Cobblestone Creative. So, Kate, please could you introduce yourself to our viewers today?
Of course. Like she said, my name is Kate, and I live in the United States, in Texas, and I have a company called Cobblestone Creative Co. And really, we exist to help people create high converting launches of their digital products and programs because we believe that the best way to impact people is to multiply that impact instead of adding it one by one. And a high converting launch is the best way to do that. So we come alongside our clients and we support them through getting those things off the ground and selling more of what they need to sell, what they love to sell, so they can impact more lives without being stressed out in the process.
Oh, thank you very much. That's so interesting, Kate. So what made you decide to do that, to go do that business? What was the reason? What was the catalyst for you?
Yeah, well, it actually kind of traces back a while. This is not my first business. In the last 5 years, I've built 3 online businesses. This is the third version. And what I realized through that process was just that and even from my day job as a marketer for a nonprofit, what I was really good at was creating lines of communication that changed people's hearts and minds in a way that felt good, was in integrity, and also had them step into the person that they could be, right? And to get the help that they need or to help others in need. And so after a while, I just sort of realized, whether it was, in my first business, it's how I made all of my money, was through launching. In my second business, I was coaching other people and then just realizing that rather than coaching them, I'd rather be doing it. I'd rather be walking people through this. I'd rather be on the front lines and helping them to create and get things out there, because that's my gift, was, connecting those dots of communication. So I would be serving in my best capacity by doing that. And so I shifted into the launch strategy.
Wow, it's so interesting. I like the way that you spoke about your journey. And I realized many times we'll start something, maybe thinking, oh, that's going to be what I will do all my life. But in the process, we get to know ourselves better. So what are some things that I know many times it's not intentional, but many times we get to know ourselves better. What are some things for you that actually helped you peel off that layer, that you began to see, oh, this is what I'm better at, and this is who I am really? What are some things that helped you to do that?
Yeah, I think a couple of things. One was seeing what people kept coming to me for and asking me about. And it became clear that it was sort of this marketing area that a lot of people felt stuck, and they felt that I did really well. I think the other thing is it was a place that I was having success, where everyone else was like trying to stop launching and they hated launching and they were quitting it. I was like, why? I want to launch all the time. This is so much fun. And then I think it was too just having friends and mentors sort of speak into those things as I was putting together plans or giving ideas, and just sort of having that community of people around me say, actually, you're really good at this. Have you thought about doing this in any capacity? And it was really fun that when I made the switch sort of from coaching to the more done for you thing, that actually a lot of my friends and mentors became my clients, because that's how much they knew that I could do this. And so that was just really encouraging. So I think it was just sort of it was a moment where I was sort of in a different business, and I didn't hate my other business, but I was starting to see all these threads come together that gave me that information that made me go, oh, actually, maybe this is something I should pay attention to. So I think it's just being alert for the message that you keep hearing over and over from people.
Oh, yeah, thank you very much. I think I like that. And it's the truth. Many times we might overlook what we're good at because maybe it comes to you very easily and, oh, you don't.
Totally.
When people, come back to you and say, wow, this is very good. And you wonder, okay. And I can say the same thing for me. I just love to inspire women. I love to be the person, like the catalyst to help you be your best self. And I just do that for my friends. As far back as when I was in school, high school, I do it for my friends. And now that's what I'm doing as a living. Well, it wasn't until recently that I realized this could be something that somebody else needs, because it came to me very easily. I love to inspire. I love to be the person walking beside you and telling you, girl, you can do this, giving you the tools and everything you need to do that. So Kate, I know in your journey, even I know that you've done other businesses. How easy was it, or how difficult was it to switch from being a coach to being the person that's doing the launch and everything for your clients?
It was both easy and hard. I think it was easy to step into what I was really here to do, and that was really exciting. It was really hard, though, to sort of admit that I was in a new season and that I had a different assignment. I have a friend who talks about, she's like, you know, we have sort of like our global calling, but we get so stuck in that, or we start assigning, you know, things that we're here to do every day to our calling. And that makes it really hard to shift and change with the season when you're here to do something else, when really we just have assignments. And that was really helpful for me to go, oh, wow. So I can actually let go of this because now I've got a different assignment and I can leave that behind. It doesn't mean that I'm flaky. It doesn't mean that that business failed. It doesn't mean any of these things that I was making it mean. It just means that it's time for me to step into a different phase. And I can do that knowing that I'm serving in a better capacity this way and that this is my assignment for right now.
Well, thank you very much. So Kate, before we go ahead, I would like you to just talk to the woman watching you that is in that place where she's feeling, wow, is this the end of this journey? Or do I have to change my path? Because I know it can be confusing. What word would you have somebody that is there right now and is like, okay, this is what I've been doing all the while, and just have that thought and that conversation going up in here, but not sure what's the next step to take?
Yeah, great question. So I would say a couple of things. The hardest thing is when you just sort of let it sit in your brain, because then you're not ever going to make a decision. You're just kind of letting all the options roll around. So whether you talk it out to a trusted friend or mentor or community of some kind, or you journal it, or do all of the above, I actually just sort of like to bounce it off of a lot of different people and get a lot of different feedback and see what that means. I am a Christian, so I certainly pray about those things, and I run that through the filter of my faith and go like, okay, what do I know about my life and who I am and what God has called me to do on a bigger level, and how does this fit in or support, or what does this look like? And so, you know, and I think sometimes we take that too far and feel like it has to be super granular, but I think, like I said before, our assignments change so that we're fulfilling that in different ways. And so it just sort of it was a combination of like running it by people, and I actually just sort of, and I think the other thing is you have to try it, because sometimes you don't know if it's actually something that you'll enjoy or be good at in a different way. So I created like a small package and I floated it out to a few people just to see, you know, whether it was friends, and even if they weren't the right fit, they were recommending that to people. So they were sending it along so that we could see how it went. And I did a couple and I was like, no, this is the thing. And so that gave me that, with like the clarity that brought, and just sort of bouncing it off of everyone, gave me the confidence that I needed to shut down one arm of my business and step fully into that other one.
Well, thank you very much. That's so much. I really like that. So if you're listening to me and watching Kate, and you're in that season of your life where you know or you feel that it's time to change the path you're in, sometimes it's not a full change, might just be a diversion, but I like to say that number one, let it sit in, bounce it off people. She's a person of faith, so she put it that to God, pray about it, and start small. Don't be scared to start, and just see how it works. Thank you.
Yeah.
So, now in your business, what do you help your clients achieve? What do you do for your clients?
Really, I see my role as being a stress reliever. I like to, a lot of people don't like launching, and most of my clients that I work with on a one-on-one basis, they have launched before and they're kind of over it. And they just want someone to sort of, that they trust to take the lead and that they trust to be able to do it in a way that is in integrity and is good. And so I really see that I feel like that's one of my roles. This is sort of alleviate that stress. But the second part is that my job is to facilitate a deep relationship for my client with their audience. And sometimes I consult on that. Sometimes I teach them that. And sometimes I actually do that for them in various ways. But that's really what I see the role is. And so I step in and I guide them or walk them through or do the content that creates that relationship and that trust. So then when they get to the sales point, it's sort of like a non-issue, right? So that the launch goes better. Yes, we do all the launchy things, but it's built on this relationship and this ecosystem that we've already created of trust so that it converts higher. And so they need fewer people to hit their revenue goals. They're more profitable. And they know that their product is more sustainable long-term. So as they turn that into evergreen things or launch it in the future, they know that they've got a process and a product that's validated enough to continue to convert for them well, so they can multiply the impact they're making.
Oh, I really like that. I really like that. No, and Kate, I know you've met a lot of women, and online and offline. And what is the main things or the examples of what they've told you, why they're holding back and not going after their dreams or passion, or going after the plan where they know that this is what I should be doing? They have a feeling in their heart, but something somewhere is just holding them back. What are some of the excuses or challenges that women face?
I think the first one, it kind of touches on something we've talked about before, but it's like not knowing for sure. I don't think I've ever known anything for sure, and we put so much pressure on this, like feeling completely solid and rooted in a decision, but there's so much that goes into actually knowing for sure that it's hard to do. So I think that's one. I think there's just a lot of fear of failure. I think there's a lot of fear of being seen as ambitious or greedy, or powerful, right? I think there's a lot of, I don't know. I don't know how much of this is in Canada, but certainly in the States, we've got a lot of gender dynamics that affect that become a thing. And I think we are just, or we don't know where to start. We sort of hinder ourselves by not getting help we need to start. We kind of feel like we have to do it on our own. So we're super ambitious and we have to do it by ourselves. And we've got to do the 1,000 other things that women are supposed to do in our lives. And so we kind of compound the stress on ourselves through all these things too. Mm-hmm. And so I think it's a combination of things always, but those are things that I see most often.
Yeah. Okay. So what are some of those challenges you faced in yourself? Because about different things now. Was there anyone that you faced or you're still facing, and how were you able to overcome those challenges?
I've certainly faced all of them. I think the one that I struggle with the most is probably fear of failure, because I feel like that says something about me personally, or about me as a business owner or as a person who's good at what I do, right? Like if I have a terrible launch or if I have this or that, then nobody is going to trust me because they're going to know that this happened. And so a lot of times I hold myself back from doing the best, like the biggest effort. So I almost make it a self-fulfilling prophecy. Yeah. I sabotage myself so that I have an excuse to not go as big in case it fails. Then I've got like that cushion of, well, I didn't do everything. And so I think a lot of that for me is this, I have a need to achieve, but I also have a need to not fail in that achievement. And so you know, those are conflicting things. Anyone who did anything worthwhile has failed along the way. And if you haven't failed at all, you probably haven't tried as hard, right? And so I think it's a lot of just like letting go of that idea and not being afraid to push all the way through. And that's something I continually rub up against as I go after bigger and bigger goals in my business.
Wow, that's true. Thank you very much for sharing from your heart, because I see that you're really being vulnerable and being truthful and being yourself. Yeah, thank you very much. And so for the woman out there that is holding back, what can you tell her to do? What encouragement or what strategies could she use to just know that she's here for a purpose and she's got the powerful dream in her heart that she needs to fulfill?
I think the first thing is to surround yourself with people who get it, or at least one person, right, that you can say that and they won't look at you like you're a crazy person. I think the other thing is to either look for evidence to the contrary of whatever story it is that you're telling yourself, or create the evidence in the sense of like, put out a post and test it and see how people react and what conversations happen because of it. Don't be afraid to fail. Like, all of us are scared. None of us are doing this in 100% confidence. There is 0 people on this planet who are 100% confident in everything that they do. And so just know that we're all doing it scared. None of us have it figured out. We're all stumbling upon things all the time. And so you're in good company, but you don't get anywhere if you don't take the steps to get there.
Well, thank you. Try it first. Give yourself the evidence. Post something small, and you give yourself the permission to go ahead. And as a truth, there is no one person on this planet that is never afraid. We're all afraid. Even the big names you hear out there, they did it being afraid. It's just human emotions that we have. Fear.
Right.
Yeah.
Your brain's trying to protect you, right? Because it doesn't want you to be hurt. So it's trying to protect you, but you can just say, thank you, but I also know you won't die, right? What's the worst thing that can happen? You're embarrassed for a day, and that's it. It's not so bad, right? If you got to put it in perspective for yourself.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. You've got to put in perspective. And I know fear comes in different ways. Sometimes it comes as excuses, and you're looking for reasons why you shouldn't do what you know you should do. So, lady out there, we're here to tell you it's time to be unleashed. Stop holding back. Cut that rope, that thing that's holding you back and not allowing you to fully express yourself and share your gift to the world. Imagine how many people Kate has been able to help with her gift. Imagine how many people have been able to launch their own business because she decided to share her gift with the world. And the same way, we're waiting for you to share your gift with us, because we want to be part of that story. So thank you for listening today, and I'm so excited that you came on board today. So Kate, any final word before we go?
I don't know. I think we covered a lot of it. I think, just keep pushing forward and, doing it scared.
Yeah. Keep pushing forward and doing it scared. Thank you very much. Don't forget that it's time for you to be unleashed. Stop holding back and go full force into your dreams and your passion. Thank you, and God bless. Bye.